Hello everybody, welcome back to Learning Biology 15.3 Part 1. So we're going to continue on the human eye and we're moving on to the human ears. So similarly, our ears are also the sense organ that detects sound. Okay? Detect sound. So moving on, we're going to talk about the structures. Okay? So when we talk about structure and a function, they are divided into three regions. One of them is the outer ear, and then middle ear, and then inner ear. Alright, so let's talk about the structure names according to their region. First of all, the outer ear. First one, we have the skull, so that's just like a human skull, 係一個頭顱啦. And then we have the pinna, auditory canal. Read it after me, please. Alright, eardrum. Okay, and then we move on to the middle ear. Middle ear consists of the ear bones, the semicircular canals, and then two more windows. One of them is the oval window, the other one is the round window. So the oval window is just here. As you can see, one of them is connecting the ear bone, and the other one is connecting the cochlea. Okay? And then below the oval window, 喺個下邊嗰度咯, you can see the round window here. Okay? And last but not least, you can see there is a tube here. We call this tube the eustachian tube. So all of these belong to the middle ear, all right? And last but not least, that would be the inner ear, including the auditory nerve and cochlea. Okay? So let's read after me one more time. Pinna, auditory canal, eardrum, ear bones, semicircular canals, oval window, round window, eustachian tube, auditory nerve, cochlea. Okay, so I'll focus on talking about the outer ear first. It's quite familiar for you guys because even though you have not learned about this section, you will know the external ear part, the outer ear part. It's quite easy. Okay, so pinna has another name called the ear flap, 係個耳殼啦. And then you can see this auditory canal is just like help you collect the sound wave and then go through this auditory canal and then go to your eardrum. So there is another name for the eardrum. It's called the tympanum. Tympanum. Okay? 發哀音嘅. So let's talk about the outer ear first. So three structures: pinna, auditory canal, and the eardrum. First of all, the pinna, what is it? It is a flap of cartilage. Flap 嘅 meaning 係代表係一個瓣啊，一瓣花瓣嘅瓣啊，一瓣嘅 cartilage. Cartilage, please say this word. 呢個係代表軟骨。Alright, so it will help you collect sound waves. So what are we hearing? 點解我會聽到你把聲啊？點解你會聽到我把聲？ Those are the sound waves, alright, from the environment. And then the ear flap will help direct them along the alimentary canal and then to the eardrum. Alright, and another one, let's move on, is that you know that we have this habit of putting our fingers into the ears, 去撩耳屎啦. And why is that? That is because the auditory canal will produce wax. This wax has some functions, 有啲用嘅. First of all, it will for lubrication, and it also helps trap dirt and bacteria. Okay? So before moving on, I would like to talk about this disease a bit. That is called 一個嘅中耳炎. Alright? So it's inflammation of the middle ear. Alright, inflammation. You can put it down. So inflammation 就會發炎啦. So it happened because there are some pathogens entering the middle ear. Alright, and therefore it is infected and you have this disease. Okay. So last part is the eardrum. So eardrum is a very thin and elastic membrane. One very important function is that it helps you convert the sound waves into vibrations. So here, I would like to remind you one thing is that we say that the ear contains some mechanoreceptors. So I'm sure that you know what is receptors， 一個接收器啦 ，right? But then mechano means 係同機器相關嘅 ，related to mechanics. Alright? So why is that? Exactly, it's because of here. The sound waves are no longer sound waves when they enter our ear. They will become vibrations. So when we talk about vibrations, it's related to mechanics, 係同機械性嘅嘢相關，所以就叫 mechanoreceptors 啊。Alright? You can go to your book page 3 for more information. Just check page 3, alright, if you do not understand. Okay, and then we move on to the next part, talking about the middle ear, okay? In this video, I'm only going to finish this middle ear part, okay? 好啦，嚟啦喎。So when we talk about the middle ear, first of all, we know that there are the ear bones. So ear bone, one of them is connecting the eardrum, easy, and the other one is connecting the cochlea, 係同個耳窩相連嘅。However, as you can see, there is a very, very thin layer, so-called the oval window here. The oval window before it enters the cochlea, alright? 所以啦, therefore, the ear bones are actually connecting the eardrum and the oval window. Okay? So first of all, there are 3 tiny ear bones, and they are the smallest bone inside our body. Their function, please remember these words. They amplify, 佢哋會倍大咗嘅. Okay? And transmit vibration. Okay? From the eardrum, of course, where? It is connecting the eardrum and the oval window, right? So it will transmit the vibration from the eardrum to the oval window. So oval window is a membrane. 係一個薄膜嚟嘅啫. Okay? So next, we're going to talk about the 2 windows. One of them is the oval window and the other one is the round window. So oval window, what is it connecting? Connecting the ear bone and the cochlea. Alright? So it will transmit the vibration from the ear bone to the cochlea. 其實佢呢度講嘅 inner ear 亦都就係等於嗰個耳窩啦 ，cochlea 啦。Alright? So and then there is another window called the round window. So it helps you maintain the fluid pressure inside the cochlea. So that is related to the last part, the inner ear part, and I'll talk more about that in the next video. Okay? It is controlling, 你可以講 regulating 呢一個嘅 fluid pressure 啦 in the cochlea 嘅。Alright? So eustachian tube is also very important, and somehow it is even more related to our daily life than the round window. So both round window and the eustachian tube controls or regulates the pressure. But what they are regulating is a bit different. 佢哋控制嘅嘢、調節緊嘅嘢係有啲分別嘅。Alright? So eustachian tube is, of course, connecting the middle ear and then going to the pharynx. Alright? 係耳鼻喉相通. So that's why we always say that the ear, the nose, and the pharynx, yeah, and they are always connected. Okay? 好啦, so normally 呢個 eustachian tube 係 closed 㗎啦，但係啦 sometimes it will open due to some action. 有啲嘅動作嗰陣時，佢就會 open 啦。For example, please jot this down. First one is like there is a sudden increase. 突然間嘅增加 in height, or we say elevation. Okay? 係一個高度上面嘅增加啦，突然性嘅。So just like for example, you go up 60 floor suddenly with a lift. Okay? Or you go up the airplane. Alright? So what will you do? Some people will feel painful to their ears. Some people cannot hear very well. Okay? So therefore we swallow or we hold our breath and try to push the air out. 我哋會閉氣啦，然後甚至推啖氣出嚟啦，或者可能會吞口水啦。Alright? So therefore, why do we do that? Because this helps us equalize the air pressure. 係等同咗 ，OK? 平衡咗個 air pressure 啦 on both sides of the eardrum. 咩叫 both sides of the eardrum 啊 ？That means 代表咩嘢咧？就係 one part would be our inner ear and the other part would be our outer ear. Okay? So somehow the air pressure between the inner ear and the outer ear is equalized. 會等同咗啦。Alright? So for example, just like what I said, when the air pressure is unequal, 唔相等嗰陣時啦 ，your eardrum will bulge。唔該讀一讀呢一隻字，脹起咗啦 ，bulge。Alright, so since it is bulge, it cannot vibrate freely. What does that mean? We cannot hear clearly. 聽唔到啦，甚至 as I said, some people will feel painful， 會覺得好痛嘅。Okay, so just like there is a sudden change of elevation 啦 ，when the plane is taking off or when it is landing. Okay, 起飛降落嗰陣時啦。咁 another word for what I wrote earlier, you can say that it's ascending and descending quickly. 上升下降啦，突然地。Alright, so why do we feel painful to our ears? Because the air pressure is different between the inner ear and the outer ear. Okay? So this one's quite easy. It's asking you, what if the eustachian tube is blocked? Okay, so what will happen to our hearing? Okay, it's quite easy. You can think about it first. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to continue talking about the inner ear and mainly about the cochlea and the round window. Okay, so that's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.